I think I've seen you before.
Which are your least favorite characters from Naruto?
I'm sorry, say again?
Your least favorite characters from Naruto and why?
Hers.
Huh. You're getting a lot of trouble here. I don't know, sometimes with Hinata, I'm like, come on! Spit it out! Grow a pair.
I hate the entire Uchiha clan.
That's pretty obvious.
There are no characters in Naruto that I hate.
Yeah.
Because I'm too in love with my brother. I only have eyes for you. Literally, here they are, take them. So yeah, no, I don't hate. Although Kisame gets on my nerves sometimes, but you know, other than that, he's a fish. He smells.
Not hate, just like not necessarily hate.
I guess the problem is that, like, you know Hinata. I don't know Hinata very well.
Yeah.
I don't have many scenes with her. Literally, my whole character is obsessed with my little brother. That's when you ask me what Naruto is about, I go, Naruto who? It's all about Sasuke as far as I don't know who this, yellow
Show's
ninja
not
is.
called Sasuke.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't realize that ninjas were orange, but does that help you sneak around?
Sometimes we were green.
Oh yeah? Okay. So I don't really have a least favorite character because that would mean that I would care about them, Because you don't hate someone unless you care about them, right? I mean, if you don't care about them, you can't possibly hate them because you don't know them. You have to know someone in order to hate them or dislike them. And I don't know anyone but Sasuke. I have no one matters but Sasuke. I swear.
Thanks.
Hello. I was just wondering, this is Crispin. What was your favorite thing about Hellsing and your least favorite?
I think my favorite thing about Hellsing is probably the fact that it pulls no punches, that it goes right for the jugular, literally sometimes, because it's nice to have a show where you can pull out all the stops, because and that's the satisfying thing about Alucard is he's just a force of nature. He just can rip apart anything in his path. Which is why he wants to have this sort of dom-sub relationship with Integra, because when you're that powerful, you've got to have somebody to put a leash on you. So that's what I think is great about Hellsing. In terms of my least favorite thing about Hellsing, I don't know if I have a least favorite thing. Sometimes the challenge with Hellsing is making sure that it works in translation, because the show is actually about England. And so there's all these references to English things, but sometimes the Japanese get it wrong. And so we have to go in and make sure that, there is a village of Cheddar where there can be a church, or when they said Lancaster Church was where my bullets came from. And they're like, they need Manchester, don't they? Don't they need Manchester? Not Lancaster. We'd have to look up, and it's like, no, there actually is a Lanchester, and it actually has a church. Okay, we'll say Lanchester. So that's usually the challenge with stuff, especially the alchemical stuff, which they got better at. The bird of Hermes is my name, eating my wings to make me tame. This is from the Ripley Scrolls. This is classic alchemical hermetical text. And the first time they did it, they totally mistranslated it, and it didn't make any sense. And luckily, they corrected it later. And Taliesin, who's the voice director on Hellsing, is probably the most knowledgeable person about the occult that I know of. If I need to know something about Aleister Crowley, I go straight to Taliesin and say, educate me. My experience and my knowledge is in comparative religions. I look at stuff more broadly and more globally, and I'm looking at large patterns in Buddhism and Hinduism and Christianity and Judaism and Islam. But I don't know the ins and outs of the tarot card deck and all the different occult meanings that might be happening in the hermetical texts and everything else. I've been learning about that more recently. But that's, when Taliesin writes has me quoting from the Book of Enoch, when that's coming out of my mouth as Alucard in Hellsing, That's fantastic, but it's also mind-numbing because we have to make sure. I mean, he translated the Theban on the back of Alucard's gloves. I mean, that's how far Taliesin goes to make sure that we're, he makes sure that the whole Templar ritual with Integre in the TV series is accurate. When I talk to the Queen, there's a certain way you talk to the Queen. There's a way you do that, and if you don't do that right, it doesn't sound right to people from the UK. And so, Taliesin is obsessive about this stuff to make sure. So it's exhausting, but it comes out well in the end. And we have to make the Die Freischütz references work well. When we're singing in German to Rip Van Winkle, we have to make sure that we've got the call on Maria von Weber in there properly because that's what's inspiring Wagner and Montana Max and all the Nazis and I forgot on. Yeah. More than you ever wanted to know.
Hello.
Hello.
Well, my question is basically, maybe a few weeks ago I was watching Naruto and I saw a documentary when all the characters were recording, and it made me think, don't you think you need to feel the chapter in yourself to can act like him? I mean, for example, like you said before, Itachi is obsessed with Sasuke. So maybe you're obsessed with something or you don't surrender, I don't know. I mean, maybe you have to be like the character too.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think, as an actor, your challenge is always to feel what the character is feeling, And in animation, you do that sometimes even more than on camera, because you have to make it alive through the microphone. They're not seeing your face, they're not seeing your reactions. So, I mean, I think. You have to reach deep when you have to do dramatic stuff, When you're going to cry, you have to think about, if it's a really dramatic thing, you have to put yourself into that place, And sometimes you come in, just like any other job, you come in and you've had maybe traffic was bad or something happened, or, I don't know, your sink broke or something like that. And then you're playing this really funny scene and you just have to get in a better mood and pull it off, We have a really good time recording Naruto. It's so much fun. I can't even tell you. It's just so much fun. And it's just a great team, Mary Elizabeth, and then we have these engineers that are engineering, and I mean, we've been doing it for a long time. And the studio is great, and so